This boy is being sent on a mission to enter enemy lines, but the catch is the enemy are all girls. He's stuck in a world where men live in one nation, while the women live on the other half of the continent. Currently, the girls actually rule the world and are stronger, where they call themselves foxes, while the guys call themselves the wolves. The story continues with the evil bad anime men arming themselves with a mysterious test potion, planning to use it on the old rank 1 swordsman of the Crimson Foxes elite. Afterwards, we discover that her name is actually Green Nare, and the only reason she's chained and in a pickle right now is because the current queen of the foxes betrayed her. Nare now finds herself in a very compromising position, placed in a corner of a dark room, as one of the bad men comes closer, eager to test the potion on an S-rank elite member. To activate the potion, he lights it up in front of her, and the man explains that the potion will make her deeply crave a banana plantation inside her walls. And so it turns out to be some kind of screwed-up love potion, created to make sure any girl in the world will start begging for battering rams to attack. It's also revealed that Nare has been able to withstand every potion up to this day, but thanks to Harang, they now have a potion with maximum possible quality achieved. Unfortunately for her, she actually failed to resist this quality, allowing for some ugly man to make quick use of his banana plantation into the captured fox. As such, she was able to experience reaching the top of the mountain for the first time in over a decade, allowing the men to declare the former rank 1 as utterly defeated. Upon finishing the trials, the head bad guy in charge of creating the potion made his way to the Black Wolves King to report on his success. Eager to learn more, he instantly asks if he succeeded, since the king is a sussy baka after all. With the former rank 1 unable to withstand the power of the blue dew, the man claims that no female in the world will be able to resist the power of the potion. As such, the Black Wolf King can now break out of shell as his ultimate plan is starting to take hold. He then grins as he starts proclaiming that they are perfectly right on time, as Harang will soon battle a Ra for the first time at Puzzle. However, the king has no trust in a rookie properly using the blue dew, so he orders a covert mission to be prepared, just so they could actually test the effects in a real battle. It's also revealed that the king plans to attack during this year's special Gomage festival, so I bet the boys are going to get disappointed when they learn their rice cake attacks will be interrupted. Regardless, the king summoned every Black Ops captain of the wolves, but surprisingly, he initially asked them to attempt destroying him. But the man has the supervillain overpowered plot armor in anime, so there's no way the Black Ops has any chance. Nonetheless, every single captain charged forward at the king only for him to start hysterically laughing like a maniac. Meanwhile, back at the Wolves' special headquarters, Maru gives advice to Harang as our boy is busy trying on clothes as if he's going to prom for the first time. Maru then starts teaching Harang how to be a Sigma male, as he needs to be ready, that is, if he actually wants pound cake at the Gomage. As such, Harang stops being a slouch and attempts to look like a noble wolf ready to pounce at some perfectly fine rice cakes. Maru also lets Harang know that at Puzzle, they won't be actually dueling through combat, but instead, it's all about the special skills they learned using their rockets. And so, Maru threatens Harang to not let the nation of men down, as they are all counting on him to tame the legendary Ara, as every single one of them dreamed of eating that special rice cake. Fast forward to the evening, where Harang learns that he has a surprise visitor waiting to meet him in person. So Harang hurries to make his way to the main hall, but he has no idea on who the visitor could be, since he literally became part of the Garimbi less than a week ago. Maybe it's just a prank bro, as he finds no one waiting for him at the public hall. Suddenly, Harang feels cold air flowing down his spine, as if his ultra instincts are tingling due to a ghost waiting to appear. But then he finally realized that there's actually a man waiting right beside him looking like a wannabe male version of Yor. In an instant, Melior Forger goes for a quick knee to his face, but our boy is from the Matrix, so he's able to somehow dodge the surprise knee attack. But the man combos into another side spike kick. Luckily, Harang is able to dodge again, as if he leveled up his evasion stats to 99. However, the visitor is ruthless, as he gives Harang no time to relax, so he continues charging at him with multiple hits. Eventually, Harang gets a good look at the man's face, allowing him to notice that he has a very nice mustache, almost as nice as Pedro Pascal's mustache. As the Mandalorian attempts another hit, Harang realizes that it's actually his dad in disguise, confused as to why he's attacking him right now. With him finally exposed as a cool father, he stops attacking and instead, he starts telling Harang how he's super happy to see him all healthy still. But then his father screams it's just a prank, so he starts attacking him again, attempting to get a good hit at his own son. Mukbum even started cosplaying John Cena, as he repeatedly started yelling the champ is here, while also chanting you can't see me over and over. Now Mukbum is a true dad, since he basically gave Harang the gift of becoming the Prince Behemoth, while training him into an ultimate monster able to dodge any attack from anyone. Eventually, Herring gets enough of his antics, so he frustratingly parries an attack and proceeds to take him down by grabbing hold of his leg. He then smacks him so hard that Mukbum's mustache and dignity flew far away into the distance, allowing Herring to get even more riled up. But then he channeled his inner Karen, asking Herring how cruel must he be to punch an old man, telling him that it's not okay to mistreat your elders. Unfortunately, Herring's father's guilt-tripping does not work on him as he claps back, asking what kind of father tries to destroy his own son. In the end, the two stop battling as Mook reveals he brought over some delicious marinated beef for Herring to eat. As two began to sit down to watch Herring eat some amazing Korean food, Herring asks why he's trying to cosplay some kind of K-pop star stuck in the military. But Mook denies having an ulterior motive other than wanting to just see his son, to make sure he's okay after being uprooted into the life of the elite. Out of nowhere, Herring starts hearing voices of people he's not familiar with, busy talking about delivering some products. At the same time, one of the unknown voices came knocking at the dining hall, where Mook orders them that it's time they take a break. As such, Herring gets disappointed when he learns that his dad is actually not just here for him specifically, but it's because he's here for business. It's then revealed that Mook's business is super suspect as he's out here delivering perfectly real-life replicas of women as training dolls for the special forces. Upon further inspection, the dolls literally look like their real-life counterparts, as these specifically are the newest versions from the legendary man. The boys then go wild at the sight of the dolls, as most have never even seen a girl in their lifetimes. With the onslaught of men cheering at the sight of Mukbum's new masterpieces, the commander quickly appears, wanting to join in on the fun. As Herring's father gets ready to leave, the commander makes a side note remark of how it's a shame he's so talented, it decides to give up on the special forces in pursuit of creating dolls. Even though he's a god at creating them, the commander reveals that the Shadow Ops try their hardest to keep him from retiring. Meanwhile, the two intelligence officers in charge of keeping an eye on Herring watches on in secret as they spy on their target for more information. They even continue their conversation, talking about how it's a pity Mukbum decided to pursue dolls instead of pursuing greatness. We also discover that the higher-ups dreamed of him challenging the king for the throne, since he was actually the strong, but he never did. Nonetheless, as he leaves, he tells Herring that he needs him here with the big boys and proceeds to tell him to keep up the good work. He then reminds Herring to always remember what he said, that Herring is destined to become king. As Mukbum leaves, he encounters Karim on his way out, but he takes a moment to stare at him, telling him that throughout all this time, he still has the same old dull face. But then the turntables turn as Karim reveals he only showed up to ask the legendary Mook a chance for a duel. Karim then claims that the reason he wants to challenge him is because he's the closest in power relative to the king. Since his goal is to become king one day, he needs to overthrow the current one. However, as Herring minds his own business, he starts attempting to direct Karim to duel Herring instead, telling Karim that the strongest woman on the planet chose to give her collar to Herring for a reason. He then shouts at Karim, telling him to not underestimate his son, as his genes were passed down to him, maybe hinting that Mook also has a Prince Behemoth himself. Regardless, Mook continues to lead while Karim begs him for a chance to duel, only for Mook to ask Karim to make sure he takes care of his son. But Bro is stubborn as heck, asking for Mook to just give him a few seconds, since that's how long he will last if Ara gave him the chance to enter her gates. However, the atmosphere instantly changes after Mook gets annoyed with Karim asking for a few more seconds, as if he's a final boss entering his rage phase. With the sudden change in atmosphere, Karim whips out his sword, quickly entering his battle stance as he thinks he accidentally provoked the bear. With Mook now turned to Karim, the clouds around him begin to turn black as if he's about to deliver a thundering punch like One Punch Man. But instead, he trolls Karim as he begins cosplaying old Naruto, telling him to make sure that both of them get along together. Finally, the old man leaves as he waves them on, but he acts as if he called Karim his son as well, telling them both to have some sweet dreams. Now imagine if these two are actually brothers, and the younger brother accidentally stole the older brother's girl, but then she turned out to be their sister, and that is what we would call a real plot twist. Nevertheless, back at the Society of Women Only, the girls find themselves fighting each other as they attempt to teach Era some sussy moves since she's a first-timer. Meanwhile, the girl from Hunter x Hunter watches on nervously as the girls try to pin down Ara, but instead of joining them, she starts eating some snacks since she looks like a first-timer as well. The first to give up on teaching Ara how to handle a rocket is Alita Battle Angel, so she starts eating some sausages. In the end, all the other girls give up as well, so they start having some Gossip Girl moments as they begin talking about how crazy Era is for wanting her first time to be with the biggest rocket on the planet. As the girls continue to gossip, Ara continues to eat, but Blondie starts doing weird things to the food as she stares at Ara. As such, Ara decides to go to sleep as everyone is making such a big deal out of her being a first-timer, claiming she needs lots of sleep or else she gains zits. And so they let her go as the girls realize that Ara wants the first rice cake experience to be as natural as possible. The story continues with all the anime girls dispersing, so Mira decides to do a quick workout before heading to bed. As she pumps some iron, we figure out why the girls' only nation is stronger than the men, since they can't even squat as much as her. Regardless, Mira gets distracted as she hears someone walk by, only to discover an unusual sight as Chu is without her combat gear. Now she just looks like a usual civilian instead of the feared sniper with her signature weapon and cow-like clothes. However, the Crimson Foxes now need to get used to Cho on maintenance leave after Herring destroyed her with his rice cake attack. As such, she's now responsible for helping the human race continue on, since the girls are the only ones that can reproduce. Meanwhile, a blurry Ara getting ready for bed hears 2 quick knocks on her door, although she's not expecting anyone to visit her during this hour. It's then revealed that the surprise visitor is actually Chu. Now that would be pretty weird if you ask me, since these girls are all sharing the same Prince Behemoth. Nevertheless, Ara opens the door for her and, like a true menace, starts eating chocolate right after she brushed her teeth. Ara then offers to share a piece exactly just like them sharing Herring, but Chu refuses, telling her she ain't want no cavities. Cho then starts lecturing Ara about not snacking right before bed, but she doesn't care at all, as food is the only thing that might separate her from experiencing the Prince Behemoth. And so Komen decides to change the subject, wanting to know why she decided to visit her late at night, right before her puzzle duel. Without sugarcoating it, Chu reveals that Youngji is confirmed to be pregnant after experiencing the Prince Behemoth explode, shocking Ara. The future queen also learns that Chu received her information from a trusted source, so she starts explaining that if Youngji could get pregnant, then so could she. Cho continues on by warning her that if both elite members succumb to Herring's powers, then it's highly likely that it'll be Ara's turn next. However, Ara responds by asking her why she's being so serious right now, since it's pretty obvious what could happen. But it turns out that Chu is trying to be a good friend, as she wants Ara to know that the higher-ups are keeping it a secret about Youngji. Since Ara wants to be queen one day, Cho starts questioning the intentions of the rank 1 swordsman on the planet, as her plans will get ruined if she becomes pregnant. But out of nowhere, Ara interrupts her, revealing the true reason why she chose Herring, so she uses her hands to explain how Herring is way above national average in regards to average banana tree size. Unfortunately, her joke doesn't resonate with Cho, as she has first-hand experience in battle with a Prince Behemoth as thick as Herring. In the end, Ara cuts all formalities as she tells the truth, claiming that Herring is the man for her, since he makes her smile without him even trying. And so our queen gives us a valuable lesson to all boys out there, reminding you guys to just have a huge banana plantation going and you'll be set for life. Nonetheless, after hearing the experience Chu had with Herring, Ara is more confident than ever that Herring is the man, since even she was surprised herself when she gave him her collar. In the end, Ara wishes Chu the best, as we discover that Cow Lady always dreamed of having a child, and now she might get the chance to fulfill her dream and retire from the Special Forces. As Chu leaves the room, she still can't shake the feeling that Era is walking into a trap. She then reveals that the legendary Green Nure was betrayed by the higher-ups, having the exact same circumstances as Ara, due to her challenging the queen for the throne, while also successfully extracting a seed from an elite wolf. Regardless, it seems as if Chu has turned into a simp for Herring, as her inner true self wants to keep Herring from any danger he didn't sign up for. Meanwhile, Ara starts outside her bedroom window as she cuddles with a real-life fox, where she tells herself that she's at peace with her decision. Fast forward the next morning, Herring's name echoes through the elite headquarters, telling our boy to hurry up. And so he swiftly runs out of his room looking better than usual, as today is a day every man marks on their calendar, since it's time for some legendary rice cake destroying. To Herring's surprise, even the Ninja Turtle has somehow scored a duel at puzzle, but seriously, who's the mysterious girl willing to risk it all with this mad lad? Nevertheless, the chosen elite to destroy rice cakes for the day all line up outside headquarters, as they all will arrive together at the Promised Land. Right before everyone departs, Baekmu appears, revealing to the unit that he's the one spearheading the mission of Palace Intelligence, and others will also accompany them in case things go wrong. However, all the higher-ups start making fun of Herring, begging him to remove his scarf since it's apparently not manly, but he refuses to do so, explaining that it's his good luck charm. Meanwhile, Maru the nerd and the sussy hipster looks on from behind, unable to believe their rookie and the round boy Eden get to go to puzzle, while they have to stay back. Things then take a turn as the two start discussing rumors that the Wolves have something planned for this special occasion, so the duo is unable to be happy for their squad mates due to an uneasy aura about the event. But truth be told, the boys are probably just jealous that a brand new noob is sweeping every rice cake around day by day without trying. Anyways, as they continue their journey to the promised land, not a single person talks on the caravan, so it's awkward as heck. Like real introverts, both Herring and Eden try their hardest to not make eye contact with anyone, just to make sure they don't have to make some small talk. Unfortunately, Herring messes up as he catches the gaze of one of them, so he starts laughing at him, causing Herring's mouth to transform into the forbidden other hole, with the two Shadow Ops members laughing hysterically. Mu turns around to look at Herring, telling him no pressure, but then he tells him that the entire pride of the wolves are on the line. With the failed attempt to ease the rookie's feelings, he just nods on as he attempts to shrug off the weight of the entire male population as they want him to win the duel instead of him exploding first. Upon finally arriving at the gates of their destination, one of the men on guard make a remark about how they thought the Prince Behemoth would look more rugged. Regardless, they open the gates, allowing them in, but that's why you never judge a book by its cover, since it could be hiding something huge. The caravan then slowly continued on with no one in sight, other than a huge valley overlooking the palace of Puzel. As they get closer to the esteemed arena built for rice cake destroying, Herring gets awestruck as he didn't realize it was so huge, and it even had a waterfall underneath. Eventually, Herring is able to take his first steps outside the doors of Puzel, only for Mu to reveal that this place actually used to be the headquarters for the Crimson Foxes. Mu then gets interrupted as the boys stop paying attention, due to them noticing the timely arrival of the elite foxes on the opposite end of the road. Now, for the first time ever, Ara dons a dress of crimson color in front of a man, stunning every man within vicinity, due to her finally not looking like Elle from Death Note. She actually looks great in color, so no wonder Karim is such an ultimate simp for this girl. Regardless, Ara makes her way in front of the steps of Puzel with sword in hand, facing her future rice cake destroyer, with Mu and the Black Thorn leader watching. After staring at each other for quite some time, the future queen finally opens her mouth, but she only says hi, causing Herring to accidentally let it slip with him saying she's so beautiful. Unfortunately, Herring receives no compliment back as Arab just says he looks okay, since what really matters is what you're packing, I mean your heart. Luckily for Herring, his embarrassment gets some relief as the Black Thorn steps in, ordering him to hurry up, since she's a grumpy oldie. However, Mu tells her to stop being so uptight, since today is a rare occasion with the main course being two first-timers. But his attempt at easing tensions fails, so Mu ends up going through with tradition, introducing everyone, including the main man, Herring, member of the Garimbi elite. He also introduces Eden, causing the Blackthorn guards to laugh in the background, unable to fathom how these two boys are the best the wolves can conjure up. After Mu finishes, Blackthorn leader Hang Yanhee does the same and starts introducing everyone accompanying her today. However, the wolves' Shadow Ops are shocked to learn the Crimson Foxes brought along administrative heads, letting them know that the foxes ain't messing around. Regardless, we finally find out who's the one that chose Eden, as it turns out to be none other than Blondie herself. But she's literally a wild card, so I should have seen that coming. Anyways, let's cut to the chase, as we've been waiting 11 straight episodes just for this moment. After Herring hands over his weapon to the girl and Ara handing over her weapon to Mu, they allow the two to finally get ready for the epic duel. Meanwhile, Blondie tries to bribe the Blackthorn to let her in early as she just wants some rice cake with sausage toppings since she's been craving banana tree seeds all week, but she's refused entry, forced to wait 10 whole minutes. As everyone else waits for the duel to finish, Mu ends up offering Yeonhee some tea, and so she finally relents and takes Mu up on his offer. Now back to the action, Herring's heart starts to beat super fast and loud while he shadows Ara from behind. But it's literally love at first sight, as Ara feels the exact same way, almost fooling me that this wasn't a cultured masterpiece. Suddenly, Ara grabs Herring's hand, telling him that they should go together instead of him following, as she makes an excuse that's her first time as well. As such, Herring's heart stops as soon as she let him forward to the end of the hallway, probably busy thinking it's rice cake popping time. Upon reaching the end of the hallway, the two take a moment to open the door, as Ara explains that from here on forward, the real Puzel will unfold. Much to their surprise, as they push on, a girl appears, curiously asking both of them if it's their first time. It's then revealed that the girl's name is Hannah Lin, and she will be the one taking care of Ara. Shortly after, with no explanation, a man appears by the name of Dongi, explaining to Herring that he will be the one in charge of taking care of him. And so apparently Puzel has servants for those here to duel, so they start showing the two lovebirds around the beautiful palace. The servants then remind the two of the rules, where they can only choose one room, and they must stay inside until the allotted time has finished. Ara then wastes no time as she instantly picks a room, ready to rumble and tussle. So she's basically putting the pants on in the relationship with Herring just being a yes man. The two then enter the room, but Herring gets fixated on all the lovely decor, only for him to not realize that Ara has already gone missing. As he's too busy amazed at the grandeur of the room, Ara comes flying in with a surprise attack from the top of the room, catching an unsuspecting Herring. Nonetheless, the story continues with Ara ganking Herring from the sky unsuspectingly, as Prince Behemoth thought Puzzle was a sacred place meant for elite foxes to extract seeds from them. Luckily, Herring has the reflexes of Faker, so he's able to successfully dodge the surprise attack. Herring then fails his attempt at defusing the situation, since Ara is trying her hardest to cosplay Angelina Jolie as Mrs. Smith. But surprisingly, unlike Karim, Herring is able to withstand all her blows with ease, almost as if Herring should be the rank 1 swordsman for the wolves instead. Regardless, Ara continues on with her onslaught of attacks, telling Herring that winning over her collar has intended consequences, but our boy is too slick with his moves. With Herring continuing to dodge every single attack, we discover that Ara has been testing his power level, since she expected him to be much stronger than everyone else thought. As such, Ara stops attacking and pins him near a wall, asking Herring if he realizes who she truly is, as no man should be able to keep up with her attacks. She then claims that no one can fool her, so she questions Herring why he allowed her to easily attack him days before. Of course, Herring deflects the question, responding by turning his mouth into the forbidden hole and replies by saying he has zero idea to what she's referring to. After calling the Prince Behemoth a terrible liar, the two decide to restart the ordeal, since they forgot to flip over the hourglass inside the room. Meanwhile, the servants from outside the door begin to think that the lovebirds are some kind of rough couple, as they constantly hear things break. At the same time, Blondie barges into the doors of Puzzle, with Eden, the turtle, lagging behind. Now this is a couple looking ready for the true plot, as everyone else gets seemingly baited by the author, as we were all expecting Herring to throw down with his Prince Behemoth. Regardless, it's revealed that Blondie is no unfamiliar sight to the palace of Puzzle, since this isn't her first time giving an elite member of the wolves her collar. However, Dongi, on the other hand, has never seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle before, as he watches him nervously pace around the room. Blondie then interrupts Dongi, trying to explain Puzzle to Eden, as she starts ordering the two servants to reveal which room the first couple ventured into. But her questions get swiftly answered after she starts hearing more things break inside a room beside her, so Blondie starts getting super excited. And so the second couple quickly picks a room, ready to rumble and tussle, as it's finally time for some banana tree seed extractions. As the two groups get it on inside Puzzle, the elders from the Crimson Foxes and the Black Wolves congregate peacefully to drink some tea. But this is all a ruse, as both sides attempt to gain any useful information from the opposite factions. The wolves want to know if Herring was potent enough to successfully allow two of the strongest Crimson Fox elite to actually get pregnant for the first time. But the foxes refuse to disclose the information, so they clap back, revealing that they know that the wolves' population has been in steep decline, enough to be in a very dangerous situation. But then things take a turn, as one of the wolves' intelligence officers start hinting that the wolves might offset the balance of the world relatively soon. At the same time, Moom has a private conversation with Yoni, telling her that he truly believes that Ara and Herring are about to bring a big change to the world. With all the foreshadowing, we need some action, so back to Puzzle, where we find Blondie busy trying to listen in on Herring and Ara. However, she gets frustrated after hearing the two lovebirds go quiet again, still not able to realize the two are fighting, not extracting banana seeds. Nevertheless, Eden, like a true Sigma male, starts bouncing on the bed, causing Blondie to get distracted with her chosen man. But as Eden uses the bed as a trampoline, he starts calling out Blondie, telling her how bad she must be craving bananas since she gave him her collar. With Round Boy spitting facts, Blondie actually gets insulted, so she starts regretting her decision for choosing Eden to be the chosen one to explode with her. Meanwhile, inside the other room, Herring and Ara are busy staring at each other in absolute silence. And that's literally all they do. But time to time, they hear Round Boy bouncing from the other room. With the biggest teaser ever in culture history, the Blondie says she's had enough, so she starts walking towards a tired Eden. She then takes the boring matters into her own hands, but she starts comparing Herring to Ara, telling Eden that Ara is going to be king of all nations one day. 68 days later, Eden finally makes a move, so he starts complimenting Blondie about her great perfume choice. And so Blondie finally attacks, so she rips open the packaging for Eden's ice cream cone, ready to use it properly. Eden then blinks once, only to realize that all his packaging disappeared in an instant, almost as if Blondie is a true pro at rice cake smashing. With Blondie and Eden getting the show started, we discover that future Queen is busy interrogating Herring, wanting to know more about the day he let her attack him. But all Herring does is simp for her, claiming on that specific day, he was awestruck at seeing the legendary Ara, since he's never seen a girl prior to their encounter. Herring then continues on, busy complimenting her prowess, explaining from that day on she was carved into his heart. Regardless, with the wholesome encounter, Ara tells him that he can't live a normal life anymore, so she brings up Youngji and Cho. It was at this moment he discovered that he's going to be a dad, confirming to everyone that he's potent as hell. Ara then reveals that this is the first time ever that two elite members successfully completed their life mission, and it was all done by the same person. With the onset of the surprising new information, Herring starts bawling his eyes out, unable to hold in how happy he is. So Ara gets slightly scared, wondering what's wrong with Herring, unable to fathom how a wolf could be so happy knowing that he now needs to pay some child support. While Herring is busy being a proud father, his squad mate is busy watching Blondie turn into a menace as she starts playing around with him. As she attacks, she realizes that Eden needs some help growing the banana tree as all her insults accidentally made cold air shrink his plantation. Luckily, Blondie pulls off her special Twin Dragons reveal move, causing Eden to start growing rapidly. With just one special move, our turtle admits defeat, allowing his primal senses to activate, all because she used bed mass in her calculations. Meanwhile, back to the boring room, Ara orders Herring to keep the information she just revealed top secret, as if word gets out, both Youngji and Cho will be put to eternal sleep in a bottomless pit. As Herring gets shocked with the revelation, so did Eden, as he's unable to believe Blondie was able to slurp up all the Slurpee in one gulp. With Eden experiencing sensory overload due to the elite Blondie, he doesn't realize that Herring is busy taking in only information. As Herring gets shocked with the revelation, so did Eden, as he's unable to believe Youngji was able to slurp up all the Slurpee in one gulp. Instead of experiencing joy and satisfaction, Herring receives the reward of finding out that the royal foxes will attempt their hardest to kidnap him due to his potent seed. However, with the wolves still in the dark, thinking the Herring is just some random rookie, Arad explains that it's highly likely the royal foxes will attempt a secret transaction with the unsuspecting wolves. If they do end up getting hold of him, Herring will become a seed slave, forced to live a life in captivity. Luckily for our boy, Ara offers to teach him a way out, and so he instantly accepts, not wanting his banana plantation to be invaded. With Herring's life on the line, his Garimbi squad member is busy going ham in the other room, enjoying every moment at Puzzle, especially with Blondie at the helm, as she's one of the most experienced out of all the elite, for both genders. Era then reveals that the only way out for him is that he needs to become king. Now our boy was expecting an easier way out, but he does indeed realize that him becoming king will be a surefire way to get out of this pickle. But then Herring shocks the sussy world, as he finally decides to become king, and not because he's a simp for Ara. Instead, he's doing it for his kids, since he doesn't want to be separated and forced to pay child support. Afterwards, the moment we've all been waiting for might actually happen, as he chads up, telling Ara to hurry up as it's time to make their own kids. Unfortunately for our confident Herring, he gets rejected, since Ara tells him that today she won't be doing the sussy. Luckily, Herring decides to activate his trap card as he starts almost looking like he's about to cry, causing Ara to really question him. With his trap card activated, it still fails, with the strongest girl on the planet explaining that she can never take in a seat, as it will be a setback on her becoming queen. With Herring being ultimately baited, she tries to gaslight him, telling him that this isn't fair at all, even though they are literally in a room meant for rice cake smashing only. As such, I start to shed water for our boy as he begins to cry as well. But then the turntables turn, as Ara finally crumbles at the sight of Herring bursting into tears, so she says fine, let's clap. With Ara finally accepting responsibility, she tells Herring that he has exactly 1 minute of fun, and that's it. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure looking like Karim speeds through a forest with all his might, looking like he's either escaping or chasing someone. But then we discover that the black serang is trailing behind him, struggling to keep up with the speed of his captain. Eventually, he gives up chasing after him, so he starts questioning his life, since if he can't keep up with his captain, and his captain can't keep up with Ara, then who can keep up with the Legend 27? But since the black serang is a kind soul, he starts thinking about Herring, hoping that he doesn't get destroyed by Ara at the Battle of Puzzle. However, as he's busy catching his breath, another mysterious man speeds by out of nowhere. The black serang is able to catch a glimpse of the man, causing him to tremble slightly, since it turns out there's actually 3 of them.